Hey guys, in this video I want to talk about the pros and cons of being on Upwork as a freelance writer. I'm going to do a review on what I think of it as a platform. I started freelance writing like a decade ago, so I knew about it when it was Odesk and Elance. It was like these two different platforms that were so freaking similar. It was like, okay, they're I guess they were just so similar. Anyway, they merged into what is now Upwork. And back then when it was Odesk and Elance, I tried to get work on there, and I bet it's, because people do get work on there, technically, we know that, I guess, but I never stuck around long enough to make it work because I always found, work available elsewhere beforehand. So I was like, I never went back to Elance, Odesk, and then I checked back on Upwork once, maybe it was year like 2017 or 2018, something like that. I checked, it was like, okay, is there any work available on here? Is this a platform to be on? And at that time, same thing happened. There was no like work really. And I got work elsewhere first. So it was just like not worth my time. And that's the experience I've had. I've always been able to find work somewhere else. So it just never took off for me. And so I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of Upwork in that perspective, like why I think that happens, why there's so many platforms that are better than Upwork. The second experience that I had with Upwork was just using it as an invoicing system, sort of to an exchange of goods and services. Like it's a way where you can upload your assignment, your document, to the client, just like PayPal would work, except PayPal doesn't have a way for you to submit your assignment, or you can't like attach your work on the invoice. But that's basically what Upwork is doing for you. It's making it possible, like, let's have an even exchange, because you can use invoices and stuff, but then there's still like that awkward moment, like, should I get paid first or should I give them the work first? And that problem is solved with Upwork because they hold the money in escrow. Like, the client has to pay it up front, so they have the money. Upwork already has the money, and it's not going to get released to you until they're happy with the work. So let's compare Upwork to ClearVoice. It's a really big difference. I'm going to use ClearVoice to compare and contrast Upwork because of it really shows like what is wrong with Upwork for me. Yes, Upwork only takes 3% of your cut of your pay, so that's good compared to other places, but it's, again, it's just like an invoicing system. So PayPal is going to take 2.9%, so Upwork takes 3%. It's similar like that. Since it's such a low transaction rate, you got to ask yourself why. I mean, Upwork is not helping you get clients. They're helping you transact these payments, just like PayPal. It's like they're really not getting much out of it, whereas ClearVoice, they take 25%. Constant Content, they take 35%, and those are the two platforms that I use. Otherwise I work with clients outside of any platforms, and I'm getting paid fully upfront because I brought that client to me. But with those platforms, they brought you the client, so they get the cut. And it's with Upwork, nobody's bringing you a client. The thing is, you have to bid on all those jobs. You can't even just claim an assignment. You have to write a proposal, like as if you're writing a cover letter for a job, and you would have to do that so much because you're only going to get a small percentage of those proposals like accepted, if any. So there's so many people on there from around the entire world, and there's people who have been on there for so long. Think about that, like from the beginning of freelancing. I mean, with Odesk and Elance, all the people that were on there transferred over to Upwork, and people on there who are getting work, it's like they have so much to show on the platforms. They have all their, stars. Oh, this person worked with 100 different clients. This person worked with 250 different clients. Like, well, yeah, they've been there their whole career. But to jump on Upwork today and expect to get work, even if you have a portfolio, I think freelancers can waste a lot of time on it, and it can give a false sense of hope. At the end of the day, Upwork is just a money hungry machine, eating up all those transactions, getting that 3% of every transaction that is made on the platform. I think that's what Upwork's main value is for freelance writers, that it can serve as an alternative to PayPal or QuickBooks. It's an invoicing system that actually is geared toward freelance work in the sense that you're going to upload that work. But let's say a client finds you on LinkedIn and they're like, you know, I like your work. They ask for work samples and they like it and they are ready to work with you. You can direct them to Upwork and say, hey, we can get started through my Upwork if you have an account on there. And they may not. They may say, oh, you want to work through PayPal. But if they have that option, they're going to trust you if you're directing them to Upwork, you know. So that's what I think the value of Upwork is really, is acting as an invoicing system or like a third-party assistant to show that you're really legit, and so your client trusts you, and that can really help, you know, seal the deal when you're meeting people on LinkedIn and platforms maybe like Twitter that is, you know, it could look scammy or uncomfortable. So that is the value of Upwork. I think it is great for that. I just think that unfortunately freelancers can waste a lot of time on there, especially when if they're new, and there can be like false marketing, false promises of what you can make sometimes on these big platforms that have a lot of money and been around for a long time. Like, not everyone's going to profit from it. Not everybody's going to, you know, they're not looking out for everyone. And especially, like I said, with taking 3% of the transaction, like, they're not looking out for you on there like they are on a platform like Clearvoice. Last thing I'll say is, like, something like Clearvoice, you could contact them and talk about like how, oh, I'm struggling to find work on here. Would you guys, do you guys have anything available? Something like that, you know? It's like on Upwork, can you imagine contacting corporate and like talking to them as an individual? No. Well, these companies like Clearvoice and there's others, you know, like because they're taking such a cut, like you know, you're more invested in each other, so you have that support. Okay, I'm gonna stop rambling. Let me know in the comments what you think about Upwork. Have you had any experience on there as a freelancer? Let me know, and I'll talk to you guys in another video. Bye for now.